call the meeting to order. This time, do we have a motion to adopt the agenda or any correction? Yes, ma'am.
There was one correct, with two corrections. If we can delete from the agenda from section E, number 15. And then from item, I'm gonna have to find it, in section E, under the section of extra duties, number 4. I wanted to remove the second name under Bomar.
Any others?
And then I didn't know if we needed to add an executive session now, because it wasn't, it was actually originally on the agenda, sir.
Yes, ma'am.
Mr. Hodgson, President.
I wrote it down somewhere. Yes.
We can cover that when we get there, or you can put it down either way.
Well, that's what we're putting.
We're gonna have one executive session item.
Those are my only changes.
Okay, so we're changing under the
Yes.
consent, proposed consent. Okay. You've heard the additions and deletions. Is there a motion to accept the agenda?
I make a motion we accept the agenda with the mentioned changes to item 4E and the removal of item 15.
There is a motion. Is there a second?
I second the motion.
It's been moved and properly second. Are we ready to vote? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, like sign. Motion carries. Madam Superintendent?
Yes, we have many visitors and distinguished guests in the audience today, parents, students, very proud parents and students as well as visitors. We have Mr. Michael Waldrop from the Mississippi School Board Association. I want to thank him for being here today. He will be addressing the board later on. But during my superintendent's report, we have a quick presentation of students that will be done by Ms. Nancy Robertson, so I will save those introductions for later, sir.
Madam Superintendent, we have Dr. Joe Haynes with us as well, State Director of Job Training and former Superintendent of Education.
And we also have Mr. Fortenberry, former superintendent of the Jackson Public Schools, and the public as well. I didn't see them. And they also will be making a presentation to the board later on. I'm sorry.
That's all. Do we have we've all had a chance to view the minutes. Is there a motion to accept? The minutes. Mr. Long.
Mr. Chairman, I'm calling for additions or deletions to the minutes at this time. Are there any additions or deletions?
No, sir.
Not hearing any, I move that we approve the minutes as written.
It's been moved. Is there a second?
Second.
It's been moved and properly second that we adopt the minutes. Are we ready to vote? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, like sign. Motion carries. Thank you. Madam Superintendent.
Yes, I'm going to call Nancy Robertson up to the microphone. We have much talent here in the Vicksburg Warren School District, especially in our Fine Arts program. And today we have some special groups of students that Ms. Robertson will be introducing to us.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Very quickly and very kindly, we'd like to showcase once again our Fine Arts Department in the Vicksburg Warren School District, and we'd like to start this evening. Last month, we had this beautiful display, and if you would, at this time, Valerie, would you go stand with your picture? Valerie Pugh, who won Best in Show at the Warren County Wildlife Extravaganza Poster Contest, and her teacher, Miss Lisa Grant, at Vicksburg High School. We'd like to give them a nice round of applause. And displayed, thank you very much. Thank you very much. And displayed around you on the table and behind you on the wall, you have some of the things that were exhibited at the Youth Art Show, Vicksburg Art Association Youth Art Show. And the teachers that brought pieces to that art show were from Vicksburg High School. If you come forward when I call your name, is Lisa Grant, Audrey Butler, stand right over here, and Miss Candy Graham, who all teach art at Vicksburg High School. And we also had from Warren Central High School, Mr. Jonathan Hart, who couldn't be here this evening, but we also have Miss Jamie Coon. If you would come up and stand, let's give you a round of applause. Thank you very much. And the art pieces that they brought this evening are just beyond belief. Thank you so much for your art. Thank you very, very much. We also have the Vicksburg Junior High School Department represented under the direction of Christy Rumfield. Christy, if you can come through and bring your kids. They've brought just a few of the things that they have earned this year, starting with Riverland Choral Festival. Seventh grade sextet, 8th grade sextet got superior. B105 Carolyn Contest, first place in junior high division. Solo and ensemble adjudication, that's where they go and sing individually. We got 19 superiors at that festival. They got a superior in large group and sight reading, ladies ensemble, mixed ensemble at district festival. And then they went to state contest for the first time in many, many years. And they got a superior in large group, sight reading, and ladies ensemble. And 6 singers were chosen for the junior high all-state choir this year. Noah Ledbetter, Faye Valerio, Mackenzie Lynch, Kinsey Irons, Ashley Ers, and Quanteca Berkeley. Quite a year, if you would ask these people. I give them a round of applause. Very, very proud of you. We also had some elementary students who auditioned and were selected for the all-state honor choir this year. And they are under their director, a music teacher at Redwood Elementary, Miss Lynn Pratt, and her student, Mr. Hank Holderness, if you would come forward at this time. And at Bovina Elementary, we have Miss Jennifer Tillotson, Kevon Porter, and Sean Lewis were selected. At Beechwood Elementary, Miss Frances Hassel. We had Christopher Green, Laura Mayfield, and Brandon Scott. This is the performance that they all went and sang with 200-ish voices at USM, and they stayed there for 2 days, and they performed 7 pieces with a conductor, and it was just an amazing experience that they will never, ever forget. We thank you for your support in this school board and Dr. Smith. Give them a round of applause. And last but not least, we have, under the direction of Daniel Vernon and Terry Walker, the Warren Central High School choirs, and some of their awards this year. They received first place in the high school ensemble category in the Carolyn contest, second place in the high school ensemble category. Various solos won awards that were recipients. They got all superiors at district contests. They got all superiors in every category. Then they went to the Chicago Heritage Festival, and the Madrigals won the gold award in the 2A category, and Total Sound won the silver award in the 2A category. They're competing against students from all over the country, not just the state, but all over the country. They won the Spirit of Chicago Award, and this award is given to the school that represents exceptional maturity, showmanship, and musical professionalism at the National Heritage Festival. The Madrigals were given an invitation to perform at Carnegie Hall in New York City in the spring of 2014, and they also received some very special awards for their soloists. They only gave 2 soloist awards, and they both came from the Warren Central Choral Department, Kristen Miller and Marquise Goodwin, sorry. And the last but not least on their agenda, they submitted a CD with a blind audition to be selected as the only high school choir to be performing at the state convention, MMEA, Mississippi Music Educators Association, and American Choral Directors Association in Mississippi. And they were selected under a blind audition, and they were the only high school choral group to perform at that state convention. And we were honored by the president, Dr. Swinford, Mr. Creel, who drove 2.5 hours to hear them perform, sat for a 30-minute performance, and then drove back to come back to work that same day. And we just appreciate your support more than you'll ever know, school board members, and Dr. Swinford. Thank you very, very much.
Robertson, thank you so much for what you have done to further enhance our fine arts department here in the Vicksburg Warren School District. And during that same conference of the MMEA, you were also recognized. And I just want to make sure that the public knows that we have also a celebrity among us. Because from among her peers, she was given what is known as a lifetime award from this institution. And our hat is off to you for the great work on behalf of our kids. Thank you so much. I wanted to make sure to let everyone know that during this month, we've had a lot of good things happening. Yes, anyone who has to leave, please feel free to stand up and go. Get ready for tomorrow's school. It's okay. I will keep on speaking. We had the honor of recognizing Mr. Billy Shaw, and he was a football player who played in the 60s and he graduated from Card Central, played with the Buffalo Bills during the 60s. And the Pro Football Hall of Fame was here in Vicksburg, and they unveiled a plaque at Vicksburg High School to be exhibited there in our lobby that says Vicksburg High School, the home of Pro Football Hall of Famer Billy Shaw. We had a great time with Billy Shaw here. He spoke and spent some time with our football teams, both football teams. So that was a great moment for our kids. I wanted to recognize a couple of our schools. There's a really positive program. It's called Move to Learn from the Bauer Foundation. And three of our schools actually have participated in this program. Most recently, Bovina and Redwood will be participating on May 1, Bovina Elementary, on May 2nd, Redwood Elementary, and previously South Park Elementary had participated in the Move to Learn program. Very proud of the schools taking on that extra work, and it is an attempt to help kids making better choices when they eat as well as exercises. So it's very good. It also is supported by research that the kids who exercise and get that energy out can focus better in classrooms. So I'm very glad to have seen at least 3 of our schools participate. I hope that more come on board in the future if their schedules permit them to do so. Also, I just wanted to remind everyone that we have the Kimmy Melton food drive going on now through May 3rd. As you know, Kimmy is one of the students that we lost at the beginning of the school year from Warren Central High School. We've lost a total of 6 students this year. One died very recently, our 10-year-old from South Park, thank you, from South Park Elementary.
Gerald Tucker Jr.
Yes, sir. And we're hoping that prayers and thoughts are with those families and that they soon recover from this event. But Kimmy Melton was the first one that passed away. And since her 14th birthday, what Kimmy had wanted for her birthday was that kids donate food and clothes and things to different organizations, Salvation Army or any others. And what we have done in support of the mother to memorialize Kimmy's wishes, we have helped her in distributing information and advertising for this food drive. And it is ongoing through Kimmy's birthday, which is on May 3rd. So if anyone has any food items that you would like to donate, please take them. You can take them anytime to Warren Central High School, and there are other locations also throughout our city that are collecting the canned goods. Vicksburg Mall, Pemberton Headquarters, and Corner Market are some of those. Last but not least, I wanted to commend the fire department, as well as Vicksburg Police Department, as well as the Warren County Sheriff Department. Today we had an incident. The principal is here from Warren Central High School. We had an incident at Warren Central High School, and I just have to commend them for their fast work as well as response time. I also have to commend the faculty, staff, and students at Warren Central High School for their level of professionalism during this time. A bomb threat was called in today, and our kids just moved as swiftly and quickly as possible out of the classrooms onto the fields. And when everything was cleared, which happened quite quickly also, our kids very swiftly moved back. So thank you, Mr. Creel, for your leadership on that, and please relay my congratulations and recognition to your staff as well as to the students on a job well done. You can see they've executed a few times before, but they did that perfectly today. So,
Mr.
we have
Chairman.
great students.
I move that we write a letter of commendation to the Warren County Sheriff, the Vicksburg Police Chief, and the Vicksburg Fire Chief for responding quickly to public schools, and thank them for their support of our institutions.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Second.
It's been moved and properly second that we write a letter of commendations to those that helped with our ordeal at Warren Central today. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, like sign, motion carries. Thank you.
I'm going to call on Mr. McClung to do his financial information.
And Mr. McClung, as you're walking up, may I regress for just a minute? And first of all, thank you for, Madam Superintendent, for speaking of those. I wanted to give a 30-second moment of silence for those two kids and Kenny that you spoke of that been here with us, and one is no longer with us. So at this time, may we just have 30 seconds, a moment of silence, please. Thank you. Yes, sir.
For the board's information, I prepare each month a set of charts and graphs to show where we are as far as our ad valorem collection are for the month, what we budgeted for the year, what we received, and what we have left to receive, and percentages thereof. For through March 2013, for this year, we budgeted $26,257,854 for homestead exemption, maintenance, and negotiable notes. We received $24,198,521.04, 92.16% of the total that we budgeted. We have left to receive $2,059,332.96. On the next page, you'll see a graphical display of this information, and pretty much shows that we're about to reach what we budgeted. Chart 2 is a chart of maintenance and homestead exemption through March. And this chart allows you to compare current year to the past, back to 2009. And you'll notice over on the right-hand side, you'll see that we received $5,855.49. And that's 92.16%. Last year, we were at 91.4, so we're fairly well on target with our tax collections. The next page is a graph of this information, and it shows you how the dollars in the previous chart flow into the district, beginning in August and ending in July. Next chart you have is a chart of cash receipts for this month. Left-hand side, you see the date, the fund, and the source that the date we received the fund, where we tracked the receipt, and the source of the dollars, and a description. And then over to the right, you'll see the amounts of the dollars that we received. So this cash receipts report is $9,695,303.79. The next chart we have is a statement of expenses for our main operating yet to be received, but have been accrued to the extent and the percentage of the encumbrances. We're approaching a time of the year where we're leaning more toward our support services, doing repairs, that sort of thing. So you'll see that the percentage of what's left is less on the encumbrance portion. The budget balance for the year to be spent, we have 65% of the budget left to be spent in instruction, 33.91 to be spent in support services, and 0.51% in other non-instructional areas. And then the other two columns are percentages, comparing the actual month percentages and the actual year percentages. And then the final chart is a chart of our loans and repayments. And we noted last month that we paid back a cash flow loan using 16 section interest on the outstanding loan from 16 section in-house for the land instruments that we purchased, and we transferred money from 16 section interest to the district to do that. Any questions on the charts or graph?
Mr. McClellan, you feel comfortable that you were closing that gap that you were worried about last month?
I would say no.
Okay.
I mean, this, we'll be working on the budget for next year. That was where we really need to concentrate on pulling all our ideas together to come up with a plan so we can try the best we can to meet the criteria that the board set for the budget for next year.
Have you gotten any information from the State Department of Education or the legislature that you may get some increased funding in certain areas?
What I gave, did I give y'all that information last?
Yes,
Part of it, yes.
the state information.
That is pretty much what we're gonna get. Unless there's some other dollars out there for a pre-kindergarten program, I don't know that there'll be any more money from the state. So we'll have to utilize what they've given us plus what we estimate from local tax sources to build our budget around. And, your criteria was that we do a balanced budget. So that's what we're working for.
Thank you.
Any other questions? Thank you.
Thank you. That's all you have? This time we're down to the proposed consent agenda. Do we have any items that
I'd like to pull item 6, please.
Item 6, okay. Any other items? Got a question? What- Yes,
Mr.
sir.
President,
Yes, sir.
on our revived agenda,
Yes, sir.
I'd like to, in executive session, pull the contents of the hiring of the principal.
Okay, so that would be
That was
the,
6, that was 5.
would that be 5?
6.
Okay.
6 with it.
Yeah, that's what I
That's-
said.
Is that 5 or
Pull
6?
6.
It's 6,
Six
okay.
on the revised.
Okay,
It's on the revised, it changed. They're all
Okay.
together.
okay, it's under 6. Okay, sir, we
And
can do that.
Also clarification, I think we need to be in executive session on,
And it's performance.
yeah, on some salaries too.
Okay, so it's under the performance, we can do that. Okay, sir, we'll do that. Do we have any other, we need to pull, I need to ask on 11 and, just 11 and 12 and then 20. 11, well, it may be the old one now. No, that's the new one, 11, 12, and 20. So those are the only ones that'll be pulled. We're gonna pull 6, 11, 12, and 20. Any other? Is there a motion?
Make a motion, we accept the consent agenda with the elimination of 6, 11, 12, and 20.
Second the motion.
It's been moved and properly second. Are we ready to vote? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, like sign. Motion carries. Thank you. This time we will,
6 goes to.
under 6, yes, ma'am.
Make a motion that we table it to.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Table it to
Oh, see,
executive.
that's, but you had pulled it, that's what you wanted
Yeah.
to talk about. Oh, okay, okay. Okay, so we'll skip 6 right now.
We're going to
because-
make the motion to table. I make a motion to table 6, E6.
Because it's going into executive session.
Yeah.
Okay.
Second that motion.
Moved and properly second. Are we ready to vote? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Oh, one other thing though, before we table that, there is something under the personnel for classified under 6 that I need Ms. Johnson to clarify for us, please. Is that okay with you,
Well-
Well, we
Madam?
moved it.
We need to,
Oh, we pulled it, so.
table it, so when we get to that point, she just
She
needs
can-
to hang around so she can answer those questions for you
Okay, okay.
on job performance.
Okay, so only thing I have then on 11, thank you. Only thing I have on 11, Madam Superintendent, and I might need to ask who's over transportation, is where it says here for the expense for bus, what's included in the expense?
Which item are you?
I'm sorry, 11. This will be 11 and 12.
Okay, one moment, let me get that.
Okay, it's a double header. If you answer 11, you've already answered 12.
It's cheerleader travel.
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Under the travel fund, it says expense for bus, what's included in the expense?
Oh, for the bus?
Yes, ma'am.
That'll be the cost of the bus, the cost of the driver, the cost of the fuel, I mean, everything associated with the bus.
Okay, so you say it's the cost of the driver. Okay, and what else? Depreciation
Yeah,
of,
there's a formula that it used to calculate that. Mr. Bass uses a formula to calculate that for us, and it includes depreciation, the cost of gas, the mileage, the cost, and then, of course, the bus driver as well.
okay. Thank you. That's all I have on that, ma'am. Yes, sir.
I'm looking, we're going to 2 different places, right?
Yeah, Vicksburg is going to Gulf Shores, and Warren Central is going to
Tuscaloosa.
Tuscaloosa.
Any particular reason for that?
Mr. Creel, any particular reason for that?
Well, it all depends on, the cheerleaders, it's mandated that they have to go
True.
on the camp. And so you try to pick a date, and each of them set a date, and then you find a camp. And matter of fact, it's actually cheaper for us to go out of state than it would be for them to go in state. And that it's hard to believe it's true.
Understand?
But the dates would not allow for each other to go to the same place at the same time.
Is anybody here from Vicksburg?
Agreed.
Is it like you said, Mr. Creel, Mr. Reed, is it cost efficient for one group to go one place, another one? Should we try to work that, to go to the same? I
Well,
mean, what's the difference?
you're still gonna have to have 2 buses.
True.
Because, so, I mean, the cost is gonna be about the same. You're still gonna have 2 bus drivers, 2 buses, put them up, depreciation, the whole 9 yards. They're gonna last the same amount of time. I don't know if you could actually cut costs on that, due to the amount of cheerleaders on each squad. If you could get them all on one bus and take them to the same camp, I mean, obviously you could save some costs.
What's the total? Chili at Warren Central.
I would have to look at the sheet, sir.
Mr. Reed, do you know at Vicksburg?
No, sir.
It's 16 girls. in
It's
Warren
right
Central.
here, it's.
Oh, the number of squad members? I'm sorry, yes, 16. I'm sorry.
How many?
Plus, there's 16 girls on the Warren Central squad.
Okay, anybody know how many on Vicksburg?
And I don't know how many chaperones are going, and
Either 14 or 15.
We have 60 passenger buses, though.
We do.
I think what Ms. Stevens is trying to emphasize to you, this is tight year, and we need to kind of stay close as we can to the budget. And money's not going to be quite as good as it has been in the past. So kind of stay as close to the budget as you can in planning your trips, and school board will be happy.
Okay. Do we have any other questions?
On the Warren Central travel, it seems like we don't have is the bus driver not spending the night?
Yes, sir. It's down at, the expense for him is 1,000, or her, whomever, 1106.62.
Yeah, I realize that, but on the Vicksburg travel, there is $360 to be paid for the bus driver's hotel. So I assume that,
The bus driver from Warren Central isn't staying.
cool,
They're coming back, and they were going back to pick them up.
okay, thank you, no other questions.
Okay. Are we, is there a motion? I made the motion, I guess I'm gonna do it.
I make a motion that,
Go ahead, go.
I make a motion that we accept out-of-state travel lines 11 and 12.
Second.
It's been moved and properly second. Are we ready to vote? All in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed, like sign. Motion carries. And on 20, the only thing I have on 20 is on the disposal of the records. What I would like to see is just a list of, because some are 5 years, some are 3 years, and then I just want to make sure that we are disposing of what the 5-year tells us and what the 3-year tells us, and so we can have that on file, so we won't be disposing of the wrong records.
Say again specifically what
Okay.
would you like to?
Where the law states that, let's say, after 5 years, bank statements, cancel warrants, and pay certificates, school board paid bills.
Right.
That's 5 years. And then later on, it goes down to say, after a period set by the, I thought I saw 3 years. Oh yeah, after 3 years, teachers' contracts,
Right.
bus purchase documents. What I'm saying is, whatever we are going to shred, I'd like to have the document of what we are shredding, so we can make sure that we are in compliance with the 5-year and the 3-year.
Can we just keep it all for 5 years so we don't have a problem?
It's just that Cume folder,
No.
get thick really quick. That's why we don't keep it all for
Most
5
of
years.
the records that we're disposing of are the 5-year type. They're up in the attic here. It's, old paid bills, insurance, reconciliations. We've done pretty much tried to do what, we get rid of old checks that are up there that are 07, 08.
Which is all I'm asking.
Contract, we pretty much.
You want that in a list, in the form of a list?
Yeah, not the name, not just the year,
Yes.
so we can know that we are in compliance. If they come back
As we
and
pull
say,
down the boxes, we can just.
what
make a
year
list.
was it?
Contracts, pretty much everything in personnel folders are microfiche or
Okay.
not laserfiche, online access to those permanently, pretty much
How are we disposing of them?
shredded.
So I want to make sure that we're following the law. That's all. Any other questions? I'd like to make a motion that we accept.
Let's take somebody else and make a motion.
I make a motion that we accept the disposal records, which is line item 20.
Second.
It's been moved and properly second. Are there any other questions? You ready to vote? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, like sign. Motion carries. This time, we are going to need to go into closed session. Do I hear a motion to go into?
And we still have discussion of it.
We only have one item. I need somebody to,
Make a motion that we go into closed session to determine the agenda for executive session.
Second.
It's been moved and properly second. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, like sign. Motion carries. Okay, this time we'll go back into, we're in regular session. We need someone to remove.
I make a motion that we go into,
No, we're on table.
we already did that. Oh, I did
I
that.
make a motion that we remove from the table item
6.
6.
Is there a second? We're moving probably second that we remove from the table item 6. Are you ready to vote? Any questions? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, like sign. Motion carried. This time we will revisit item 6.
I make a motion that we separate the administrative from the non-administrative and approve the non-administrative portion of item 6,
Which would be, sir?
which would be the first four items. The assistant junior high football coach duties added, the 2 IAL grant, and the project seat director position.
I second that motion.
Been moved and properly second. Are there any questions? Are you ready to vote? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, like sign. Nay. The ayes have it.
Just for general information, Mr. Chairman, will you have a separate salary scale for these people?
Well, through the, through their, the grants that they have, yes, sir, it is separate.
Thank you.
It's all coming from the grant. Yes, sir. Okay?
So without the grants,
The grant is, they're trying to get, the Project Sync, we're trying, from what I'm told, coaches, we're trying to get it for another year. And we have the, on the curriculum instructions, that grant was for 2 years.
That's correct. We're finishing the first year of that grant.
Just for, to let you know what we voted on just then is that, for those, the current salary for Ms. Gordon is $68,962. It was voted on to give her an additional $12,000 in grant stipends. We're bringing total salary to $80,962. And also for Miss Young, am I right? No.
Talking about Ms. Brown?
Miss Gordon. I have to make sure I get it right. That was Miss Gordon. And then the other person would be Miss Cheryl Brown. Her salary is $25,470 is her current salary. And there's a $6,000 grant stipend, which was voted on, and said, so she'll receive $31,470. Okay. And we have one other item on the item 6. What is the pleasure?
pleasure of item 6 that
We separated. Now we're under the item 6. What is the pleasure? Or did we, because you wanted to do it, you put it all into one? That's what I thought. So what's the pleasure?
will we be able to put that in the superintendent's, on the day that we were talking about? Maybe to a motion.
I would have to bring that recommendation before the board.
Yeah, so if there is no motion, that item was removed would not be voted on pending the superintendent bringing it back to the board.
So is
Well,
that,
that is my recommendation. So if the board chooses not to take action on it, then I will have to amend it as the board requested.
so do y'all want to table that, or what y'all want to do with it?
Mr. Chairman, I move that we table that portion of item 6 and move on with the agenda.
Second.
Very second. It's been moved and properly second that we table. Are you ready to vote? Any questions? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, like sign. Motion carries. Where are we on the agenda?
Couple of things, you don't mind in F1, the distribution presentation of financial statements. This is the financial statement of the Vicksburg Warren School District that ended on June 30th, 2012, done by our audit office, and I'm just going to give each board member one, as I do every year. That's all I'm doing, distributing. That's for your perusal and review.
Okay. Item 2 is the selection of the custodial service. That was for information only, is that?
As per
Item
some
one.
of the discussions that we've had before, yes, we are going to, I think the board has to reject all proposals and authorize me to put the proposal back out.
I make a motion that we reject the proposals submitted and resubmit the bid.
And resubmit the proposal.
Proposal.
The proposal.
Is there a second? It's been moved and properly second that we reject the custodial service at this time. Are there any questions? Are you ready to vote? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, like sign. Motion carries. Item 3 is a request for the use of the facilities.
That is, you have it in front of you, that request, it has come before the superintendent on 2 separate occasions, and a third that, for the third time, I felt that the board needed to be involved, that there have been some concerns expressed, not only by a few board members, but also by some community members, and the continuous use, I felt that it would be better if I just brought it before the board for discussion.
One question, Madam Superintendent, that was called to me was, do we make adjustments for additional expense in the summer months when we have a tremendous air conditioning bill as a result of use of buildings which ordinarily would not have been in use during the summer?
I don't think we do. Our, Ms. McGinnis is in the audience, and I think we don't adjust the cost of our use of facilities summer or winter or spring, do we? It's the same year round. No, sir, we do not. We do not.
Do you see any increase, Ms. McInnes, in the summer months for your utility bill?
We usually don't have use of facilities in the summer.
I know it. I think that's what the people were asking.
School year.
So basically, that would be probably a good thing to review for future reference.
But these facilities would remain closed when it's an elementary school, so the school would be closed
Right.
for some of those months, and we would have to open those facilities.
Well, if we take an average of the whole year, I think we're kind of cheating ourselves out of additional cost in the summer. And it's not a big deal, but it could end up being something in the future that's going to cost you some money.
What are, what is the fee we are collecting for the use of these facilities?
For the facility that they're using, if it's all day, we collect $125. Okay.
We're collecting $100 each use from that group.
From that group, because they're only using it for half a day. If they would be using it all day, I think it's $125, I believe. What our paper said, something like that. You want to get the form so we don't guess it. Yes, it's the gym what they're using.
5 hours.
But from that specific group, we're collecting $100 every Sunday.
And what is this going to be perpetual use? I mean, normally
6 months.
they've been in there a year now, right?
This will put them close to it, I believe, close to the year.
It's the second time, third time.
I know they have been seeking a location where a building where they can move their church to.
And they're currently using the gym, or
They're
what?
currently using the gym at Beechwood Elementary. Yes, sir.
Is there any way we can pull out the cost of heating and cooling the gym separate from the rest of the school?
That'd be a question for.
Probably not
Energy,
wired.
actually.
It's probably not wired that way. You'd have to
Yeah.
have it separate circuits.
If we're charging $100 a month and it's costing us $300 a month to be nice,
We're
I
charging.
mean, I want to be nice to the taxpayers, but
We're charging
we're in a
$400.
tight budget situation.
I just don't know that we need to be in the business of perpetually renting
Renting
public
facilities.
facilities. We do it for one-time special events, but this is
This is very awesome, it's continuous for,
you know, and could have understood it for a short period of time, but I think it's not a habit we want to get in to start renting everything we have out for.
Well, my main concern is the closed school, especially in the summer months.
Currently, their current, it runs out when?
well, you have additional security costs as well,
Should be
so.
running out pretty soon, because they're asking for the,
This, huh?
I don't have it in front of me, but I believe
Well,
it
this
runs
is
out
from
in May,
6,
isn't it?
13 to 12.
Yeah, till December.
Yeah, that's in May.
Mr. Chairman, I move that the financial officers review the cost of operating our schools for church use in the summer, additional costs that we would not ordinarily have for security and heating and cooling and lights and other utilities, plumbing, and report back to the next board meeting, where we can make a comparison.
did you want to table this at that time also? You just want, because we have to do
Well,
something.
that gives them until next board meeting to get some figures together.
But it expired, we're gonna basically tell them, to be considerate, if we are going to not decide to, renew, we're only giving this entity, less than 30 days to do something else.
Well, we can include 30 days in the motion if that would please you.
Okay, there is a
Motion on the floor.
There is a motion on the floor. Is there a second? Died for lack of a second.
I make a motion that we deny the request to use the facilities.
I second the motion.
The moved and properly second that we deny the request.
For the church to use the school, is that?
Yes.
In the summer months only?
For this new contract that they're asking for.
For this new, we've already done it a year, so we're saying we deny that this, we've,
Here's the only thing I'll say on that, and we can vote on it. There are questions is, if our policy states that, then we're in good shape. But if our policy doesn't state that a church entity can only use it for 1 year, or it just states that the church can use it, then we're opening ourselves up for something that we don't want to open ourselves up to. Because if you deny this one, from here thenceforth, we've got to deny everybody. So it's a catch-22 that we're that you need to think about before we vote on this. And that's all I'll say at this time. We could change our policies. I don't know what the policies read, so I can't.
Policy is
I'm real. I don't know.
Our policy is pretty open. Just that
Okay, so it
we
doesn't
will
say a
use the
year or a
facilities.
year use or something,
No.
so we'll have to, in my opinion, that you're gonna need to do that, because if you, again, we can go with the vote and I'll leave it as is.
Well,
So-
the only concern that I've had, and I've said this a couple of times, and maybe you can change your motion to that, is the summer months do concern me because there is no principal there is no one to close. The school is actually closed during that period of time. And that is a concern over the summer months, to me. That's my main concern.
I just don't want to get in the business, I mean, our schools, the shape, we're not making enough money over time to recoup the wear and tear on our facilities, on our buildings. Our facilities, a lot of them do need repair right now, and I don't know, we like to accommodate organizations and provide our facilities for use, but after a certain point in time, we're not in the business of renting property on a long-term basis to any organization. Personal opinion, I don't think we're getting enough out of it to cover the cost that we're eventually going to incur.
There's a motion on the floor. Any other questions? Are you ready to vote? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, Sturgis. Motion carries. Just remember, we have FCA, you're gonna have to deny them. Because they are affiliated with the church. So let's keep that in mind. What you've just done, ladies and gentlemen, is denied them. We have the superintendent search at this time, so at this time, yes, sir.
On that is a school-based organization.
Understand, but it's church affiliate, but I guarantee you,
It's all students.
I understand, sir. Understand.
Could I also make a motion that we direct the superintendent to bring before us a change to the policy that spells out the length of time that's allowable for
Okay. There's a motion on the floor to ask the superintendent to bring the policy to be able to change it.
to not rent any facility for 6 months.
Not rescind. For more than 6 months. Are there any questions? Are you ready to vote? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, like sign. Motion carries. This time, what I'm gonna do is, I'm going to be an official, and if someone has a quarter, or a nickel, or a penny in their pocket, may I borrow it, please? Oh, yeah. Okay, I got it, no, you all have, 2 heads over there, I know what y'all have over there. We're gonna do this fair and square, I'm gonna let you call it in there for me. What you got? Heads he called, tails it is. You can go first. How about that? Oh, I almost kept you down, see how?
Monday when you're cooking.
Thank you to Dr. Swinford and to Sturgis and the school board. Thank you for this short time. We want to make a short presentation to you about selecting the superintendent. It is. But anyway, we're doing that because we've been in education for a long time. I served as a deputy for 13 years in Jackson. I've been a superintendent. I've been a board member. I was a college board president at one time. And I work for the State Department of Education. So I understand what you're going through. The best person you can hire is a superintendent. And it'll make your job easy when you get one. Our work, we have never left the educational arena. Like Porter and I have worked together for 25 years plus. So we continue to work with school board meetings or all kind of meetings. You see, if we have a meeting, we'll be there. And we also know the superintendent when we see one. And it's based on experience. I want to tell you this, there are a lot of good people that can do this work. And I tell you what, we don't do this for a living. We do it because we're dedicated to boys and girls. That's why we continue to do it. And I can tell you now, there are some good people out there. You gotta find them. And they have to have support when you get them. And that's another thing that we do. Dr. Porter, we have a limited amount of time. We'll take a lot of it.
If you choose either one of these groups, you don't get a superintendent? Will. Because I work very closely with my school board association. You're about to make the most important decision that school board makes. That is to hire a superintendent. Because you do a lot of important things. But schools exist for student learning. That's the reason we have to. The candidates that we will bring to you, we will ask them 4 basic questions. Number 1 is, will you provide the board with regular daily reports that clearly demonstrate student learning? Number 2, will you provide them daily reports where student learning is not taking place? Number 3, we will ask you, are those who are learning continuing to learn? And number 4, what kind of recommendations are you making for the allocation of resources to change where students are not learning? We ask them to be able to provide, because you are accountable for student learning, but you are accountable for holding the superintendent responsible for demonstrating to you and on a short-term basis whether or not kids are learning. we will bring you a superintendent who can answer those questions. To do that, we are available for continuing, and we like to do this. We like to warranty our superintendents, okay? We like to do that. And we like to continue working with you and the board, with the board and the superintendent for a while, to make sure that we've done it. Because if that person doesn't work out, we'll hire you another one free of charge. We are that confident in our ability to make a selection. Another thing, Joe and I work. You don't hire one of us, you hire both of us. We will bring you, and we will bring you a superintendent that both of us have agreed upon, so that you don't get hung up in some problems about whether or not you hired the right one or not, based on problems on all of us. And we will provide you a competitive product. We will work with you, we'll determine the price that we charge based on what you want done. You know, how many people you want us to bring, the amount of time we need to spend in meeting your requirements. And I would encourage you to do this. I would encourage you to really get you a superintendent, one that can continue the good learning that's taking place here, and one who will work closely with the Board of Education in getting that job done. I trust that you do that. And given the opportunity, we will provide for you a good superintendent that will be able to lead this district in the continuing good learning that we saw here today, and I commend you for doing that. But I hope that person will also lead you into more accountability for student learning. Because you have to hold yourself accountable first, and then you hold the superintendent accountable for getting that job done. Let us help you do that. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
I have a question, Dr. Forsythe.
Yes, sir. Sorry.
If there are local people who are qualified for this job, will you interview them prior to recommending to the local board?
We will interview any person that we bring to you, okay? Any person that we bring to you. And I have no bias about who those people are. There may be good local people who can do the job. There may be other people anywhere. We will bring to you in rank order our recommendations about who we think will do the best job for you. But only you have the legal authority to hire a superintendent. And we've dealt with some people along the way who wanted to help you do that. And we constantly remind them that we work for you. And because you are the only body that has possibility, has the legal capability of hiring a superintendent. Superintendent works for you. And therefore, any candidate that would like to apply, we'll be happy to do that, and we will not be biased for or against anybody at this time. We will just bring you a good one based on our recommendations. Any other questions from the board?
How many positions do you currently fill?
The most recent one we filled was in Moss Point. We did that one last year, and we got them an outstanding superintendent. You could talk to the school board chairperson down there. We did the one in Columbia a while back. That is a long term. We served as associates in superintendent searches all over the country. I was an associate in someone in Houston. I was associate with one in Trumbull County, Arizona, Wyoming, Greenville, South Carolina. We spend our time trying to identify good candidates, and we know who those are, and can capably bring you a list of good superintendents. And we will try to do it in such a way that we will protect the board from any type of legal ramifications which would grow out of any selection reputation criteria. Any other questions, please?
No, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
It's all yours, sir.
I agree 100% with what was said. The most important decision y'all will make as a board member is the selection of the superintendent. As y'all's professional organization, we're in it with you. We started doing searches in 2004, and we've done probably 50 in Mississippi, all of them in Mississippi in that time frame. Of those searches, about 90 to 95% of them were deemed successful by us when you look at the criteria we use, which is, are the superintendents still on the job? Are the superintendents working legally with their boards? Most all of them are, not all of them. We don't have 100%. Most all of them are or have moved to other superintendents' jobs. Most recently, in the last 2 years, we've done these 10.
Thank you.
Take the brochures, call any board member at any of those school districts, and ask them, did MSBA meet their or exceed their expectations? So these are the most recent ones we've done, the 10 most recent ones we've done. What we will do as your search group is we will begin by surveying you as a board and help you establish a criteria. And that may or may not, depending on what you want, include us meeting with the community, doing community meetings, finding out what they are looking for, what they would like in a superintendent, meeting with your staff, your teachers, your principals, and helping y'all put together a criteria for what y'all want as a superintendent. That's the first step. Then we will interview all of the candidates. We will advertise, interview all of the candidates, and we will present all of the candidates to you in a comprehensive report, which will say, these candidates meet your criteria, these don't, these partially meet your criteria. Because it's an inexact science. What we can do by interviewing them and checking references on all of the candidates is we can certify you who has the technical ability to be successful. But it's also the chemistry. And we will build a profile of your community and of this board and of the candidates of their service in their communities and try to help you determine which of these will best fit the profile of the Vicksburg School District so that they will be successful. So we will conduct meetings, help you with the criteria, which we feel like is very important. Advertise the position. We also have a comprehensive database. We have every administrator in the state of Mississippi just about in our database. So we will send it out so everybody in Mississippi with administrative certification knows y'all looking for a superintendent. We also have access to all of our sister organizations across America. We'll send it out through their network to hit out-of-state candidates that may or may not be what you're looking for. Also, I will contact certain individuals that are successful that I have come across in my dealings with superintendents and boards. Plus, we have started a prospective superintendent academy. We just had our first group of 22 graduates go through our academy. And of those that we feel like will match the profile of Vicksburg, we will send letters to them to apply for this. We'll sort all your applications. We'll give you a summary report. Upon your request, once y'all have chosen a superintendent, we'll come back, I will, and do a transitional service, what we call transitioning to a new superintendent. This is when you and the superintendent you've selected actually plan where your expectations as a board is communicated to that person, put down in writing. We'll help you develop this, help you set up a monitoring schedule, because I agree also, the most important aspect of this is finding someone that can move your district forward academically, especially with the new accreditation standards coming into. So we will help you set up a monitoring plan on achievement through our planning and transitioning services to the new superintendent. If y'all are not, and you don't get a candidate that's suitable for you, we will reopen the search at no cost other than expenses. And that's basically what our search, superintendent search entails. I have a contract, our cost is $9,500. I have a contract I'm going to leave with you. If you change it, send this back to me, and that will start the process. If you decide to go with another firm, just shred it. I'm going to leave this with your board president because this has the services that I went over
Thank you.
with you. So again, as your professional organization, we look forward to the opportunity of possibly working with y'all. So good luck in your search.
Thank you very much.
Dr.
Do we have any
Ross?
questions? We have some questions.
And it actually would go to both of y'all. How quickly do you think we could have a superintendent in play? I mean, I know we've discussed that we're kind of at the wrong end of trying to look for somebody that, you know, most of the time the searches start in December kind of thing, so we're kind of at the back end of looking.
This is such an important decision that I don't recommend y'all let time be the driving factor. Now, to do a comprehensive search is going to take at least 3 months. It's not, and Dr. Fortenberry and Ms. Payne may have a different opinion of this. Because once you're going to have to decide how much community involvement in setting criteria you want. So there usually be a 2-week period where you're setting criteria depending on who you want to involve. And we'll recommend a 6-week advertisement. So you've got 2 months right there. Generally, we found in our searches, almost 100% of the applications, 90% of them come in the last day. So we get them the last day, and it's going to take us time. We do a comprehensive background. We don't call the people that did the letters of reference. We go back 1 and 2 employments, and I talk with board members, I talk with superintendents. I have access to board meeting members all over the state. My counterpart has access to their board members in all over the states. And for instance, if y'all had a superintendent in Vicksburg that applied somewhere else, I would call the board members here and ask them about that person. And the board members have a tendency to be completely honest because they know I'm not going to divulge names or anything. So we spend a lot of time profiling what people say about these candidates, that where they've worked the last year or two, what I find out when I interview them. Because I have found personally that I can't look at a person and tell if they're going to be a good superintendent. And I found that they will come in and interview you, and if you don't probe and know the right questions, you can get a really good picture of someone that doesn't have much depth to understand. So we spend a lot of time talking with references to places where they work, interviewing these candidates, and going through their applications to develop this comprehensive report so that we can certify to you that these people actually have the knowledge, the technical skills, and that we think these profile well over in the community.
Doctor, will all of your candidates be certified by the State Department of Education when you recommend them?
We will certify all of them. If
Okay.
they are not certified, we will put them in a stack where we say you can't employ them. We're going to give you everything, even the ones that don't qualify.
Totally familiar with the state accreditation standards as to what each school district's got to do to be certified as a district and to be accredited as a district, plus the process of testing students to move up our accreditation as a school district.
Right, if you are typical of most boards, y'all are going to put as one of your top criteria someone that can continue to move y'all's district forward. And that will be what we will search for, and they will have to show evidence that they've done that somewhere.
Okay, thank you.
We will not be in a hurry, but we will meet your time. We will not be foolish about it, because you're making such important decisions. You don't
we think and you think we get the job done. And we do have some available candidates that we think now can do the job, Mr. President.
Yes, sir. Have y'all submitted your cost or proposal?
We have not, because we like to work with the board to determine some particular items that may or may not require more time. Therefore, but as I said, we will certainly be competitive, okay?
On the average, Dr. Fortenberry, what have you, what are your fees in the past? On the average?
The size of the school district, has something to do with it. We did one more for $10,000, okay? $10,000, we did one more.
Okay, I understand. Thank you.
Yes, sir, yes. So that's, and I did not know what their fee was going to be.
Yes, I understand.
Do we have any other questions for anybody? First, I'd like to thank both firms for coming on such a short notice. I really do appreciate it. We appreciate you coming tonight. I know it was very short notice.
And let me reaffirm, I have full faith that you will get a good superintendent candidate with a selection of either one of these groups. Then it will be up to you to make a decision about who you think you want, okay? Thank you.
Thank you all very much.
Thank you.
Do we have any other business?
Yeah. I just wanted to share with the board, I put a calendar at your places, and it is the calendar for the budget. I hope it's all right, since I will not be here at the June meeting.
Thank you.
Since I will not be here at the June meeting, what I'm proposing is that we have any discussion necessary at the May meeting, and that we do the public hearing for the budget on June 4th with a board approval of June 11th, if it's the pleasure of this board. Mr. McClung, did you want to add anything to that?
The calendar that you have has no times listed.
Right.
We need to know, to put in ads, we have to do times that you would prefer to have
The meetings to take place.
the public hearing as well as the adoption.
Down here, and I just want to, for my understanding, because I think it's two ways you can do this, I believe. Under May 27th, it has public hearing ad, notice of tax increase. Now, is that just the wording, or do you put in there that, I mean,
Well, we have to do an ad, plus we will do that notice of tax increase ad that you see every year. You know, that's pretty much a requirement,
that's what, whether it's
whether it's an increase
or not. Okay, thank you, thank you very much. I thought so, I just wanted to make sure. Okay, that answers my question. Do y'all have any other questions about that?
I just need the times,
Oh,
because we
okay.
need it for the ads. 5 o'clock,
Normal time?
5, for both?
Yeah, that's fine. Anybody have problems with 5 o'clock?
5 o'clock on the
Monday?
4th,
Oh, I got the wrong
Tuesday,
day.
June 4th, and 5 o'clock on Tuesday, June 11th.
Oh, that's the public hearings. And what about the 27th of May? Is that what you said?
That's just the regular, no, the 27th of May, we don't meet. The regular board meeting is on May 30th. On the 27th, we just send the ad to the paper.
Oh, this is the ad to the paper?
Yes,
Okay.
we have to put that twice,
Okay.
twice before the meeting.
Ad
Yes.
to paper. Okay. Okay, and then we'll have it where they can come and view it and look at it on June 3rd and 4th at 5 o'clock.
Yes,
Okay?
we'll look at it, discuss it, anything needs to be tweaked, anything needs to be changed, altered, we still have a couple of days, yes.
3, 4, and 11, is that three, are those?
Just 4 and 11.
The 4th
It's
and
another
the
notice.
11th. The
Oh, and
3rd
that's
is
the
also the
ad
ad.
is 3, ad is
Yes.
3, okay.
It's 4th and 11th.
Gotcha. Okay. At 5 o'clock.
Yes.
guess we'll vote on that just to have it in the minutes to say that we're gonna choose 5 o'clock.
That's fine, yeah, okay.
Is there a motion to, for the public hearing time?
I make a motion that we set the public hearings for proposed budget to be June 4th at 5 o'clock, and the meeting to adopt the proposed budget to be June 11th at 5 o'clock.
Been moved and properly second. Are there any questions? Are you ready to vote? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, like sign. Motion carried. Now we will, at this time, are y'all ready to vote on the search firm, or what is the pleasure, or you want to wait till we get there? We don't have the
Mr. President,
Yes, sir.
can we, have a call me, no?
Yes, sir.
Because I hadn't seen, all the information, from both.
We'll just not, I don't have a problem,
We just, like to kind of make it quick.
Right.
Every day,
Right.
every day is another day.
We got that.
What was the date? What was the pleasure of the board? For a date?
Oh, day, what day?
We do it Monday.
What, Coach Diggs, what kind of information are you, or we need to get?
What I want to do is to look at the.
Contract. This contract,
Yeah,
that contract.
We only have one packet, and it was for the School Board Association. The other group didn't present us a packet, correct?
So I guess, no, they did not. I guess we could call them and ask them for a
A contract.
contract
Yeah,
service.
dollar amount,
Yes.
yeah. They sent it,
Fine.
yes.
They gave us everything but that. Yeah, you got that. There it is in front.
It is, I mean, it's got the interview questions and stuff in that packet.
But it
Did you
doesn't
get
have
that?
any
Okay,
amount.
yeah.
It doesn't have a dollar amount.
But other than, he told us it would be
Rough.
roughly.
Yeah, rough.
I don't know, do you want time to review the information we already have?
Yes, that's what Coach
Okay.
Stevens is asking, to review the information. And we, I don't want to. Okay. So what is the pleasure of the board?
A motion that we set a special meeting for Monday,
29.
29th.
Yes, sir.
Can we do that Friday?
Fine. Is everybody good?
Five, we have a training there at 5.
Monday and Tuesday.
Yes.
You're exactly right. On Monday.
Early Monday.
That's over in Jackson, that law conference. You're exact, thank you, Coach, I forgot about it.
Don't take them off.
We do it at,
Let's do it early day.
And when that's,
Can we do early
he
morning?
said,
Early morning.
or do you want to do it on Wednesday?
Wednesday.
9 o'clock, at least.
Is Wednesday good for you, the first? Is
5.
it Wednesday good for you? But what, at 5, is that good for you? At this time?
Yeah, I think so.
I think so.
Is that
too.
good?
I need to-
Wednesday, if that gives us a little more time. And
Okay, so Wednesday,
Yeah.
Wednesday.
Sooner
Okay,
the better.
so what is the motion for,
make a motion that we schedule a special call meeting for Wednesday, next Wednesday, which is the
the first, May 1st?
May 1st.
May 1st.
Second.
second.
Huh?
May
Well,
second.
I'm just reading this calendar.
Yes,
It's
sir.
the seventh.
The line don't line up good.
Okay.
Or maybe wrong.
No,
It is the second.
Somebody got a calendar out there and tell me when.
Wednesday
Wednesday
is
the
the first.
Okay, thank
That's
you.
when I return.
What time with?
5 o'clock.
5 o'clock.
That's my motion. Wednesday the first
Okay.
at 5 o'clock.
Wednesday 1st at 5 o'clock. Thank you all. All of that is great information. Are there any questions?
Nope.
Are you ready to vote? All in favor say aye. Opposed, like sign. Motion carries. We'll meet special call meeting to talk about the superintendent search firms. And I'll give Dr. Joe James and Dr. Robert Fortenberry a call to ask them for a copy for the first. No other business? We stand adjourned. Thank you all very much.